my gosh. Okay. Good morning, you guys. I have you guys muted, but you can unmute yourself in a minute if you guys want to talk. I know this is a weird time for our team call, so thank you for showing up. Makena is on. If you don't know Makena, she's in Oregon now, so she's on the West Coast. And I asked her to speak for our team call, and she was like, "Could we do it at this time?" Hold on just a minute. Sorry, we have classroom meetings going on and stuff. But thank you, Makena, for speaking. I'm going to turn it over to her in just a minute. But I do have some announcements that I want to share with you guys before we get started. Oh my gosh, like there's so much stuff. Welcome, Nikki. This is Nikki's first team call. I love seeing y'all on here. Like it makes my whole day. So I do have some announcements for you guys. First of all, you guys, look at our team. Like, look at our team. Look at all of those. I should have tallied it up. So one of my favorite things to do is to tally up Success Club points and tell you like how many people that represents. And this is a lot of people who have committed to our challenge groups this month. This doesn't even include the people that are already in our challenge groups and that we're serving. These are just new people or people who maybe have recommitted. So like that is amazing. Shout out to Kimberly, to McKenna, to Larkin for locking in Success Club already. Newer coaches, Success Club is helping 3 people sign up with a challenge pack, which is Beachbody On Demand and Shakeology, or a subscription to Shakeology. I emailed you guys all yesterday in our team email about the ways that you can hit Success Club. If you're not there yet, it does not mean you're not supposed to be here. Or you're not doing what you're supposed to be. I know a lot of you guys are working really hard, especially you newer coaches in those conversations. Please ask me questions, but I want to see all those 2s and 4s turn to 6s by April 30th, okay? And if you need help from me or just even in our team, post in our team page and ask questions. There are plenty of people to help you with conversations, but just pull out your tracker every single day, you guys. Work in the pockets of your time. There are people who need this, and there are people who are signing up for Beachbody and they don't even know about coaches and challenge groups. Like we know that because people are going to Beachbody On Demand in mass numbers and signing up. So we have to be talking to people. We have to be bold in converting those conversations to invites and carrying it all the way through, not just starting an invite and getting overwhelmed and intimidated and stopping, but saying, hey, this is what we're offering. I want you to join us, right? So yes. Shout out to Nikki, who is our newest coach on Team Take Heart. And I hope to add a few more new coaches to our team this week. I am hosting that new coach call, or it's a coaching opportunity call. Let me skip to that on Wednesday night at 7:00 p.m. Central Standard Time. Suzanne, that's 8:00 your time. And so, McKenna, that's like what, 5:00 your time. So that is going to be myself, Abby Burgess, Kendra Zero, and Katie Bryant, who are some of my best friends in this business, all faith-based women. These live calls always have so much energy, you guys. So go to the event or go to the email I sent you guys yesterday, go to the event in our team page, copy and paste that Zoom link and invite people to this call. They will register for the call, and you need to register for the call too if you want to be on there. And you'll just get a link to join the call Wednesday night, okay? But invite, be bold, say, hey, I love what I'm doing. I would love for you to come learn more about my team and what I do as a coach. No obligations, just a fun hour on Wednesday night. Girls need girl time, right? It's going to be a really fun hour, so invite to that. Vibe groups are live. Holy crap, you guys. This is a learning curve for me. And if you're a brand new coach and you're like, what? Just sit back, enjoy the ride, okay? But Vibe groups is live. So basically what happened is we no longer have the My Challenge Tracker app, okay? That is no more. Delete it. You don't need it. Your challengers don't need it, okay? Everything is going to be done through the Beachbody On Demand app. And so what I had to do was I had to delete the app, and then I had to reload it, thanks to Ashley Burbank, who told me that. And then when you open it up, it shows your groups. You can like find your workouts in there. You can track your nutrition in there. You can order through that app. Like, it's amazing. It's really cool what they have done, but it's working very slowly. All right. So the app on my phone will load sometimes it won't. When I go to it from my computer, if you're a coach, which you all are, you set up your groups on the computer, you schedule your posts. And so it's really really being slow, but that's to be expected. Okay, so don't freak out. Don't worry about it. Now, I want to tell you this. Please listen. If you're not at Success Club, please don't go in there and spend hours playing with bod groups. Please don't. Please just focus on your invites, focus on your messages, focus on your content, connecting with people. Please focus on that. Success Club is your #1 goal. After you hit it, then you can go set up your group and get everything started and figure it out. But it is a learning curve. And I want to show you really quickly just what I have done thus far and like how I'm going to use it. But this is, so I set up this is my full life project. This is like my ongoing group. So I set it up a little bit. I changed the cover photo so it looks a little cleaner. And basically I can send this link to anyone. I can send this link so they can learn about my challenge groups to anyone. I'm going to make a video for it too. That's on my list of things to do today. But it has like a little description about our challenge group, and it says what you need to join. And I just put Beachbody on Demand, Shakeology, Performance Line, your Bible, and some goals, okay? And so they can click this, and they can learn more about what a group is, what Beachbody on Demand is, but it has my link, my coach ID attached to it. So if they decide to sign up or something like that, then it will be assigned to me. So basically, it's not just a challenge group anymore. It's a platform also for marketing your challenge groups. And we will talk about that. We'll do a team call on this, okay? Yes, raise hands. Is that okay? We'll do a team call on this. There's lots of training, honestly, in Beachbody, the champions page. So please make sure you're watching those things, but I can walk you guys through this. And everybody's going to create their own bod group, all right? That's our goal. Going back to our announcements, let's see. Last thing, our team retreat is September 10th through the 13th in Destin, Florida. So just really quickly, I've emailed everybody who has qualified for this already. You have to be an Emerald coach, which is 2 coaches underneath of you. You have to be actively working your business, obviously. The cost for the event is $200. Now, if you hit Success Club, every month starting now, April, May, June, July, August, every month you hit Success Club, I will take $10 off of that cost, all right? So there's incentives, and obviously if you're hitting Success Club, you're earning money and you're growing your business. Like that should be your ultimate goal, not the $10. But, and then if you are a diamond coach or higher at the time of the event, you'll get your whole $200. I mean, like you'll get it back, okay? So as you hit Emerald, as you hit that's really the most basic incentive for being invited. I do have limited spots. I know that 4 people have committed already. So I have about 10, maybe 12 spots at the house, but this is our house and it's going to be awesome. I'm running it with Abby Burgess and Lauren Brzezinski, 2 very good friends of mine. So their teams will be there as well. It's going to be awesome. Like this is probably I'm most excited about this retreat out of all the ones I've ever done. So that is it. Those are announcements. I don't think I have anything else. Suzanne, your sign up this weekend had trouble with login. Okay. You're talking about a new challenger. Is that what you mean? Gotcha. Cool. Awesome. Do you guys have any more questions for me before I turn it over to Makena? Oh my gosh, Kimberly, I can't wait either. It's going to be epic, like epic. I don't use that word often, but it's going to be epic. Okay. All right. Makena, go for it. Can you share your screen? Let me unmute you.
Okay. Is that good? Can you hear me okay? Okay. Hello, everybody. First off, I cannot tell you how humbled I am to be here this morning. When Rachel asked me, I kind of freaked out, but I've been saying yes to things, which we're going to talk about in a little bit, that pushed me, and this is one of those things. So I've been praying about today, and I know Rachel has for me because that's how she is, which I appreciate. And I hope that today something speaks to you and helps you, because I would love for you to skip some of the things that I've experienced and be able to find and embrace yourself faster than I know some of us have, because that's really when you start to get your groove. Okay, so Rachel kind of asked me to tell you how I started, so I'm going to start there. So I've been a coach for about 18 months. I was kind of familiar with Beachbody from like college. I had friends who did it, so I had done P90X a couple of times. But it wasn't until I had kids that I really found Beachbody. With my first, I had been stalking a friend who was a coach, and I joined with her. She signed me up with 21 Day Fix DVDs, and then she never talked to me again. Don't do that. So I did that, and then Beachbody On Demand came out, so I switched to that. But my journey didn't really start until after my second baby, which is 2 years ago. His birthday was last week. And the switch from 1 to 2 kids was really hard on me. I've always struggled with kind of body image and weight. I suffered from anorexia in high school. I've been really obese and I've been really skinny. So fluctuating with my weight is something that terrifies me. So being pregnant, as a lot of you know, does that to you, right? Because you have to grow a baby, right? Which is good. But that was really hard for me. So coming out of that pregnancy, I had 50 pounds I wanted to lose. It was my first time ever experiencing postpartum depression. I resented my kids because I felt like I couldn't do anything but keep them alive. I couldn't even like get dressed or read or shower or anything. So I was in this spot where I felt very stuck and I felt very directionless. I felt like life didn't really have a purpose except for me, which I love my kids, don't get me wrong. Being a mom has always been the thing I've wanted to do my entire life. And I love it, but I didn't love it then, right? I couldn't find the joy in it, and I hated that. And so I got to this really dark place, and I was determined that when I hit my 6 weeks postpartum, I was going to start exercising again, because exercising for me is one of my biggest stress relievers. So I was like, I need to like get consistent on that. And at this time, so Ashley Burbank is my coach. See you. She's a friend from high school, and I had just started, and I was already doing Beachbody, right? But I just didn't have a coach. And I saw her post about her groups, and she had just became a coach. Like, she was a brand new baby coach. And she posted about her group, and I was like, hey, I already have all the things, but I'd love to be in your group. And she was like, do you want to coach? And I was like, what are you talking about? You're crazy. Because that was something I never even thought of at all, especially with where I was at, right? But I couldn't get out of my brain, and I felt like this was God's way of being, hey, this is the answer to the things you want to do right now, right? You wanted to be consistent. You wanted more purpose. Here you go. So I jumped in both feet. And I never really planned on making it a business. I mostly just wanted it for my own accountability, which it did. I've lost 60 pounds. I'm stronger than I've ever been. My eating is way better. I love my children. I love this business. And I feel like every day I have more purpose, right? And I have something that keeps me going even through all the crazy. So I really started just for myself. It was very selfish at the beginning. And now it's just because I love the way I feel, and I want other people to feel that way too. And I do feel called to it, which I love that Rachel's so passionate about, because it really is like, I can't ignore the fact that God put me here. So like, that's also part of the reason I don't quit, is because I'd be quitting on God if I stopped. And we don't want to do that. So that's the shortish version of why I'm here. Okay, so Rachel also asked me to share some of my struggles. So one of my biggest struggles, honestly, has been comparison. It's so easy, especially when I started kind of at an identity crisis, right? I was a new mom of 2. I couldn't figure out what I liked anymore. So I immediately just started, I followed a bunch of coaches. I kind of just mimicked whatever they were doing, which is not bad, especially at the beginning, right? Like, this business is supposed to be duplicatable, right? But it got to the point where I wasn't being myself. So that's been a big struggle for me. Another struggle is time management, which is one I'm still working on. But Rachel, I time blocked my week this week to be so proud of me. Time management with my kids, with moving, with just everything. Time management has been a struggle, and I'm just staying focused in my time. And we'll talk about more stuff along the way. My next one has been fear. I honestly have a fear of being successful. I don't know if anybody else does, but I remember Rachel reaching out to me probably like 6 or 9 months ago, and she was like, hey, like, I see you, but what's holding you back? Like, where are we doing? Where are you at? And I was like, I'm so scared of what's going to happen if I actually can do this thing. And I don't know why that's so scary, but I think it's scary just because deep down inside, I'm like, there's no way I could do this. I see her do it. I see them do it. But like, why me, right? Like what makes me special that I could do this thing, right? And that's so awful. So fear of success has been something that has stopped me, which is the silliest thing. And then lately, one of my biggest struggles, we just moved across the country this year. In January, we didn't even know we were moving, and we moved in February. We bought and sold a house in March, and like with COVID, it's been that. So that's kind of gone in with time management. Um, so the things that have helped me overcome these things and stay focused, very first is my why. If you don't have a why yet, or a very strong why, I want you to take time this week to work on your why. And you've probably heard this before, but I've heard that 7 layers down is kind of where you start to find your big why. So you ask yourself why, and then you ask yourself why 7 times on those answers, and you finally get to the bottom. And for me, my biggest why, one is that I feel like God put this here, so I'd be not a good disciple if I didn't run with it, right? My next one is that I just don't ever want to feel like I felt postpartum ever again, right? Even if I have another baby, even if I go through something hard, I never, ever, ever want to be there ever again. My husband actually asked me a couple weeks ago, he's starting to get back into a routine of working out because he's been kind of off it for a while. And he's like, how do you get up so early every day? How do you, because like, I don't always get enough sleep, but I get up every day because that's what I do. And I feel better when I do. And it took me a second, but I realized that's why, because I don't ever want to go back. And it's strong enough to get my butt out of bed at 5:30 and stay up late and do the things, right? Because I just don't want to go back. Something else that's helped me stay focused is I start every day with my scriptures, right? And that has been such a good reminder as to why and how I'm able to do the things I do, and that God believes in me, right? If the being who created the stars and the planet and the universe and the flowers created me, like why is that such a weird thing for me to think that I can't do this, right? Like if he thinks I can do it, I can do it. And then honestly, my clients keep me here. I really love people, and I love people, especially right now when I can't see anybody. But talking to people and having people to show up for, which is actually why I started coaching, right? For the accountability, because I knew if I just had to show up for myself, it would not happen. But because I have other people who I've brought here, who I've made promises to, that are expecting me to show up, that helps me stay focused, right? Because I don't want to let them down, because I know they have big goals and I know that they're struggling, and I don't want them to fail because I couldn't show up, right? And then, okay, so a lot of you probably don't have a team name yet, and that's okay. I only have a team name because Rachel asked me to think about one, and I've had it for probably about a year now, and it honestly came to me like, so I often get my inspiration when I'm like not all the way conscious. I don't know if that happens to anybody else, but like falling asleep. I remember my team name came to me when I was feeding my baby. He's probably like a year, in the middle of the night, and I was just, like this, like half asleep feeding him. And so my team name is the Joy Squad, and Joy stands for just one you. Okay. So, and I feel like this was more for me than for my team, right? But for me, one, I'm a really happy person. I like being happy. I'm usually smiley, and I like finding the joy in things. But for me, this is a reminder that being myself is my greatest superpower. Okay. It doesn't matter what that looks like, but for me, that's where my strength is where I'm different. There is just one me, right? And there is just one you. And that is what makes you powerful, right? And so when God gave me this team name, one, my mission statement is around it, where my mission is to help other people find the joy in taking care of the bodies that God has given us, okay? Because if you can't find the joy in it, then you're not going to keep doing it forever. But then also with the acronym, Just One You, right? Like I want to show people that you need to just be you, right? We don't need to be anybody else. And that is where life starts to get exciting and happy, and things start to happen. So those are the things that have really helped me stay focused. So the things that have helped me to embrace and better embrace, it's obviously still something I'm working on. Don't think that I totally have this down, but I've definitely come a long way. But things that have helped me to embrace who I am better, and to not be so scared to be myself. One thing is just trying new things. I've just kind of stopped. Okay, if you haven't read 100 Days to Brave, I highly recommend that book. We read it when MM100 came out last summer, and I'm actually rereading it again. It is so good. But that book helped me to be better at trying new things and prioritizing trying new things, right? Because especially if you're at a place where you don't totally know what you like, right? You don't totally know what you're good at. You don't totally know what passions you have or what specific parts set you apart. Trying new things helps you find those things, right? It helps you find what you don't like. It helps you find where your struggles are. It helps you find what you succeed at. I just started using TikTok some more. You guys, I really like TikTok. Yeah, Suzanne. I didn't think I've used it on and off a little bit, but my little sister, I have a 14-year-old sister, and she uses it a lot. And so we've been doing TikToks whenever we're together, and I actually really like it. So I think I'm gonna start using TikTok more. And that's not something 2 months ago I would have ever admitted, right? Like that just sounds so like silly. But try new things. Don't be afraid to try new things. So with this, I felt like I needed to start being braver. So even just something every day, try something new every day, even if it's just little, right? A new recipe, a new way of editing your photos, a new approach to how you tell your story, a new move, upping your weights in something, right? Like don't be afraid to try new things. If you don't like it, that's fine. If you love it, you keep doing it, right? The other thing is saying yes to things. I also just finished 10X, the 10X rule, which is also a very good book. Yeah, Rachel, it's been rocking my world. I just finished it this weekend, and he talks about you say yes to everything. And his motivation for saying yes is to get more eyeballs on him, which is a good one. But like for me, saying yes to things makes me come out of my comfort zone, right? It makes me try new things, like being on this call. I never in a million years would have been like, oh yeah, I should totally run a team call, right? But Rachel asked me and I said yes, even though I was like, right? Like, this is good, and I'm so happy to be here with you. But saying yes to things, and obviously it's possible to say yes to too many things, but where our business is concerned and your family, don't be afraid to say yes to new scary things to help push you to grow, right? Even if it's just running your first sneak peek, doing a bod group, right? Rachel just challenged you to open a bod group, right? Even if you've never run your own challenge group before, make a bod group. That's saying yes to something that is stretching and kind of different and scary. Okay, the next thing that I have stopped doing as much is I stopped following so many coaches on Instagram. I still have a couple I follow. I stopped looking at those ones as much. But while I do think it's helpful to, look for inspiration and encouragement and just the possibilities of ways to do things, because I personally am not, I get in my own box and I kind of forget there's other ways to do things. So looking at some others helps, but it also can be really awful with your comparison, right? Like there's a specific coach I have in mind too. I don't even remember how I found her. But I would follow her a lot, and I was drawn to her posts, but it really was negatively affecting how I listened to the spirit leading me, right? Like it just wasn't helpful. So stop following those coaches that are dampening your creativity, because you can be you and they can be them, and it's good. I also stopped second guessing myself. So if you go to my Instagram, you will start to see a lot more things that are very me. And every time I often, get promptings, right? Which I feel like are help from Heavenly Father, help me figure out what I need to say today, how I can say it, or just ideas. And I used to stop and like super dissect those ideas and analyze them, right? And I'd start to talk myself out of them, because I'm like, oh, I don't think I've ever seen anybody else do that. Or what if someone thinks that's stupid? Or what if they think that I'm juvenile or whatever, right? Like if you look on Friday, I posted a TikTok video of me dancing with balloons. So like, but I felt like that's something, yeah, it was silly. And I felt like that was something I needed to share. But it was a little bit hard for me to share it just because I was a little bit in my head, right? But just stop second guessing yourself. If you wake up in the morning and you're like, ooh, I should post this, do it. Don't even think about it, just do it. There's a reason you think that you should post that, right? And it's because it's you, and it's because it's what people need to hear from you today, right? Doesn't matter what I posted or Rachel posted or Ashley posted or Suzanne posted, like you do you, and don't second guess, okay? The other thing that's really been working for me is staying consistent. So I have been consistent basically from day one with sharing my journey. I haven't been as consistent with the vitals from day one because I wasn't really working the business, but I have been for the last year. And even just showing up on social media, you guys, goes such a long way. And the more I'm there, the more I'm myself, right? Because it's just something that you practice more, so it's more comfortable, right? And for me, so we just moved, right? I didn't miss a day of sharing. I didn't miss a day of showing up, and people saw us move. They saw us almost not get the house we're in. They saw me have my kids just watch TV because I couldn't do anything else. They saw me eat too many chocolate chips, and then they saw me get back on the wagon, right? Like, they were there with me. And you guys, I've had my best months this year, and I moved all of those months, right? January, I was packing up my house. February, I sold my house and moved. March, I moved and bought a house and moved again, right? Like, and I've hit Success Club every month, and it's because I was consistent. It wasn't because I found brand new people all those months. They were people who've been following me since day one, who were finally ready because they saw that I wasn't going anywhere. And so the more consistent you are, one, you become more comfortable in who you are, right? And how to share you. But you also just reap the benefits of people starting to trust you, which for me, that boosts my confidence, right? Because they're like, okay, people actually want to work with me because they see me actually who I am, and they still want to join. So that's good, right? Because who you are is good. Okay, and then the last thing that's been working that I feel like, okay, so in the 10X rule, he talks about committing first, figuring it out later, right? And I am the type of coach who I don't watch the trainings always. I just kind of start implementing stuff. So I know some coaches spend a lot of time on training and don't implement, right? It's easy to do the training and to think you're working, and to do just kind of like watch all the videos and watch every YouTube video you can find out stuff. And I'm the exact opposite. If anything, at the beginning, I didn't do enough training. I just started doing stuff. And for me, just starting to do and figure it out on the way has been really helpful for me in moving the business forward and figuring out how I like to do things. But when you commit first to something and then figure it out later, I feel like you make so much more headway than trying to spend all the time figuring it out and then try to do it, right? Okay, real quick. Any questions about any of that real quick? I don't know. Oh. Rachel. Yeah. He does not mess around that book. Sorry, I'm gonna look at the chat real quick.
You're good. Hey, you guys, if you have any questions, because I know that you guys are all at different points in your business, like new coaches, coaches who've been in it for a few months, coaches who are coming back into it, or coaches who are just rocking it. But like, ask Makena questions. This is how I definitely learned. I learned from other coaches as I grew. So y'all don't be shy. But I'm writing down everything you're saying because it's like,
You're so sweet. Because I have a little bit more I can talk about, but if anybody has questions right now, I'm kind of at a good stop point. Nothing? Okay. So, oh, Ash, do you have one? Okay. You can unmute yourself if you want, lady.
That'd be so much better because I can't type that fast. I love the 7-layer analogy of your why, but I'm it down, trying to dissect it, and I feel like I keep going, like I need a little more direction. Like I keep going back into the same thing.
Okay.
Like, okay, I want to help make an impact and other women to feel good. Like, well, why? Because you feel so much better when you're confident. Well, like, why? And then it's like, well, because you can do more. And then the why, so you can make an impact. And I'm like, is that enough? Or
it might be for you. Like, do you feel like that's something that gets you through the crap days when you just don't want to do it? And
I feel like my family is a bigger.
Yeah. So maybe why you want to make an impact besides helping other people. Like what else would benefit from you making an impact, right? Like your income would grow in your family, and what does that do for you with your family?
Okay.
Right? Like,
That makes more sense. So like a double why almost.
yeah.
Okay.
Which I think is because I think there's lots of different parts to your why. Like for me, one of them is so that I can feel I don't resent my kids anymore, right? Because I definitely resented them when I didn't feel like I could get anything done for myself. But then I also have like an income why, right? With wanting to travel and be debt free and right. So I think it's okay to have lots of little.
Will you explain that more, like the 7-layer why? I heard you mention it, but like, will you like show us like what you're talking about?
Yeah. So, I think I've only done it once, but I can't remember where I heard it, but it was some book or something. But they basically talked about like you ask yourself why basically 7 times and you build off your answer, right? So like, why do I want to work out today? So I can lose 10 pounds. Why do you want to lose 10 pounds? So that I can fit in my jeans. Why do you want to fit in your jeans? So that I feel better in my own skin. Why do you want to feel better in your own skin? Because I have more confidence and I feel better for my family. Why do you want to feel better for your family? So that I can be present with them. And right. So like, it just helps it get deeper enough so that it's the driving one, the why that gets you up in the morning instead of the why that like works for a week. And then
I love that because, I feel like especially for new coaches, we're like, why do you want to coach? And I don't think a lot of the new coaches know why they want to coach. I think that, like something appealed to them or they love the workouts and like, that's kind of as far as they got. I think that your why evolves, no doubt. But at whatever level you're at in your business, you need to know why. Yeah, I think that's good. I've never heard that. I love that.
I wish I could remember where I heard it. It was on a call or an audio book or a podcast or something. But I don't remember where I heard it. Well, and especially, and I think it's good to do like every couple of months, right? In the Rise Up journal planner, she has like those places for your quarterly vision, which I actually haven't done mine yet this quarter. But that would be a good time to like redo your why, right? To make sure that you are up on your current why to keep you going, right? Because it does change and it does morph. And sometimes something happens that makes your why tweak a little bit, right? Yeah, that's great. Hopefully that helped, Ash. Okay, any other questions about anything? And then I'll finish up if not. Okay, so Rachel also asked me to share my goals, which this is something that's kind of morphing for me right now. So my definite goal, I definitely have a goal to be diamond by the end of May. I'm very, 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 very close. Like annoyingly close to diamond. So that is one of my biggest goals. And it's been one that's been just out of my reach for a very long time. Like I feel like I get really close and then something happens and I have a bunch of coaches quit. But I do have a goal to get diamond by the end of May. And honestly, besides like the benefits with the income and the rank and all that stuff, I honestly just want to show myself that I can do it because I've been so afraid of success. I want to prove to myself that I can do it, and it's actually not as hard as I think it was, because then the next goal is just that much easier, right? And I remember the first time I ever signed up a discount coach, and because I had never been able to do it. Like everyone just ran away from me with a discount, or I didn't present it in a way that people would do it. And I remember I listened to a training and they were like, just present it like it's what everybody does. And that worked for me. And I was like, oh my gosh, that wasn't so bad. And so just for me, diamond's that next thing, right? Where like, it's gotten easier to hit Success Club. It's gotten easier to sign up coaches. It's gotten easier to get people to join me. But now I need, we're pushing it. So that's my biggest goal, the current one. I originally planned on, my goal for this year was to get to 1-star, but Rachel last week planted a seed for me to think about getting to 2-star this year, which I am seriously considering. So I haven't decided if I'm actually going for it yet, but it's on my radar now, which it wasn't before. So I'm excited to learn more about that, because don't let your own goals hold you back. When Rachel told me last week that she thought I could get to 2-star, I like almost lost it. And having someone believe in you that way is so powerful. And you really can get places that you think you can't, right? I never thought I'd get to Emerald. When I got to Emerald, I was like, oh my gosh, it really is possible to get people to sign up with you. And, but yeah, so I'm thinking about going 2-star, definitely 1-star. And my other goal is just to honestly stay consistent, because life is nuts right now. And with COVID and quarantine, and who knows what the rest of the year is going to look like, right? Like, the world is so daunting right now. So keeping the things that I can control in control is something that is one of my goals this year, more than it was before COVID and moving and everything, right? Because if I stay consistent, if nothing else, I'll keep myself healthy, right? Even if like life gets crazy and I don't even think about the business, right? But I am, because this business, honestly, you guys, keeps me so much more sane than when I don't have it. Like, the reason I didn't step back that much when I moved, right? Like, I was still inviting, I was still running groups, I was still Hidden Success Club, because if I didn't, I was gonna lose my crap because life was so nuts. And so staying consistent not only helps with the business, of course, and helps you figure out you, but it honestly kept me sane. So for me, that's one of my biggest goals this year, is to just be consistent, just to show up every day, to keep doing my vitals, because I have people to help, and why would you not want to do that? And it helps me almost more than it helps other people, right? Because it gives me something to stay more organized, to have something to motivate me every day, to be better at keeping my time. The ripple effect on your life with this business is absolutely insane if you let it do what it can do, right? And then, so yeah, besides proving myself, my goals, the reason I have my goals, I really do want to start earning an income that makes me feel like, because right at the very beginning of coaching, you're not making as much worth your time as you will later, right? But the work kind of stays the same, but then later you get paid more for your work than you do at the beginning, right? And I would love to actually start making that big money, right? Because I want it to be worth my time, right? And so that's what my other goal, that's why I have the big goals, is because I would love to start earning the income that actually makes a bigger difference for my family, right? And then I also just want to help as many people as I can, because we have such a gift, especially right now, right? Rachel's talking about, there have been so many people signing up for BOD the last couple of months. Like, it's nuts how many people are on BOD right now. And if they don't sign up with you, they're going to sign up with someone else, and they're probably better off with you than they could be with somebody else. So don't be afraid to invite, because we have people to help, and helping those people helps me. So like, it's a win-win-win, right? Anyway, I know that you're here for a reason. I don't know what your why is, but I know that this business and this community and just our journey, because of this business, can be such a gift if we choose to accept it, right? So really being yourself and finding out who that is, right? And of course, we're always changing, which is why, I've had multiple little identity crises, right? Like, when you get married, your name changes. And when you become a mom, like, who the heck are you? Like, you have no idea who you are anymore. And then it just keeps kind of evolving, right? So, but when you stay in tune with who you are, and you aren't afraid to find out who you are and be that person for the world, it really is so powerful for you and for the people you're helping, and for the work we can do for our Heavenly Father, right? Like, we can bring people to Christ when we're ourselves, right? Because for me, Christ and working out and eating better and having fun with my kids and dancing like a crazy person and reading my scriptures, like, those are all parts of who I am. So why would you not share all of them, right? So don't be afraid to show the people the crazy and the messy and the funny and the scared and the excited and the goal-getter, and right, like, just be you, and I promise that it will only help in all areas. That's all I got.
I love it. Hey, before I say anything, Ashley, do you want to say anything? Because like, she wouldn't be here without you.
I am so thankful that you took a leap. And I will say, like, having you come on here and be with me has, like, pushed me so much. Like, I feel like you are, like, I am just so blessed that God brought you to this, because you have helped to pull me back in. And even when I felt like I've been drowning and trying to hang on, like, you have been there to support me and hold me and, like, pull me through the water. And, like, I am so thankful and so proud of you, because, like, you can just see the success, and like I can see when that change happened, and like it's so cool to watch you grow like that. So I'm proud of you and I love you.
Love you too.
Y'all are awesome. So if you don't know, like, okay, so talk about ripple effect. This is like something I wrote down when I was listening, ripple effect. And I'm not tooting my horn in any way, shape, or form. God is in control of all of this. So like my coach is Melanie Mitro. I joined her team. Ashley Burbank joined my team. Makena joined Ashley's. And I can remember when Ashley told me about Makena a long time ago. She was like, she's waiting to join. She's going to do it, but she just isn't ready. And she's going to be awesome. I can remember it so clearly. But yeah, it's just like, I think that at each level, there's nothing special about any of us. It's just a willingness to not give up. It's just a willingness to show up, even when it's hard. It's just a willingness to commit to that tracker, even when you're moving 6 states away. I don't know how many states you moved, but you know, like Ashley, it's a willingness to say, yeah, it's been kind of a hard year, but God is telling me to do this, so I'm just gonna do it, right? And so like there's just there's so many powerful things in McKenna's story, and that's honestly why I asked her to share it. But what I want you to know is like every single one of you have the same things inside of you. I have no doubt that you are all here on this team, on this call, watching it back, whatever, for a reason and for a purpose. And yes, guys, what sets us apart as Team Take Heart and our Joy Squad and all our individual teams is that, you know, God, I mean, we have the opportunity to be used and to be light and to be salt and to share Christ through what we do. And that's like, I don't want anyone, I'm not using my faith to promote Beachbody. Beachbody's it's given me a platform to share Christ in ways that I never would have. So, you know, like that's one thing I want to challenge you to listen to Makena. Let her story inspire you to get outside your comfort zone. Let her story inspire you to do new things, to unfollow coaches, to not be a collector of information, to set big, scary goals. Like, you know, those are all the things that she talked about, and just watch that ripple effect happen, because it will. I'm here to tell you it will happen, because I am a nobody from nowhere in Mississippi who had knew nothing about fitness or Instagram or anything like that. I just showed up and I took the information. I took action before I was ready. And that is probably the story of every coach who sticks with it and succeeds. Last thing, I would love for us all to do 100 Days to Brave together. Who all has this book? Who has this book? I know, okay. If you don't have it, like grab it. They're short, simple, like really quick devotions, but like I haven't ever honestly finished the whole thing. I've never finished the whole thing. I didn't finish it during MM100, and I was telling my people to. But it's got so much like really quick nuggets of value that do give you confidence in your creator and your calling and in fitness. And it's just honestly, it's really good to use for your content too in your challenge groups. But I think that it would be cool if we all did it together, and we can share publicly, we can share in our team page, we can share wherever you want to, just to see what God does through that book in 100 days. Last thing, Suzanne, you asked me, okay, National Wake Up Call. Let's see. The referral bonus of $50. Okay. Sorry, I'm switching topics. And if you guys have any questions about anything, just ask now, because this is our time. Suzanne asked about the National Wake Up Call last week. The girl talked about telling her challengers they could get a $50 friend bonus. And what she's talking about, Suzanne, is if your challengers are coaches and they sign someone up with a challenge pack under them, they make a $50 commission. So that's what she's referring to. That is definitely something I would email out. You can post about it in your challenge groups, but I feel like it does better in one-on-one conversations. You know, like if you have a challenger who's loving it, saying, hey, invite a friend, there's a $50 friend bonus. And if they have some people to do it, then you say, okay, I mean, some of your people are coaches already, but if they're not, okay, just create this coach account. We can sign them up under you. Boom, you make $50 a pop, and you're also helping somebody get plugged in. That's what the friend bonus is. Does that make sense? Does that help? Okay. All right. It was a good tip to do it that way. Yeah. Okay. All right. Good. All right. Does anybody else have any questions or comments or anything? Any questions or comments for Makena? I really appreciate you doing this. I will definitely be asking more of you guys to share your story. And I may ask you to share your story like on a bigger scale. So get ready. Okay. All right. All right, you guys, I'm going to say a prayer and then we'll let y'all go and do the work and the things and the babies and all the other stuff. Okay. God, thank you so much for today. Thank you for Makena's story. Thank you for each of these women who are here today, God. Just we know that nothing had, I don't believe anything happens on accident. I know that you're in control, God. We respond to your prompting, to your will, God. And I pray that each one of these ladies, you would just create a boldness and a confidence in you, first of all, God, to tackle this business and to do it well, and to help us to all be quick to give you the glory for what you do through us, God. I pray that you would bless these women and their businesses and their families through Team Beachbody, God, and that you would help each of us just to be good stewards of what you have given us in this business, God. I just thank you for this time together. I thank you for Makena's boldness in sharing her story, God, and I pray that you would bless that as well. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. All right, you guys. Thanks, girl. See y'all later. Bye.